Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are safe and well. It's Monday, so it is the Academy Show. So, anyone new to the channel, what we do every Monday, we dedicate a show just concentrating on the 18s and 21s. It's a massive part of the club. It's a massive part of what we are and our fabric, but don't get enough coverage. And so what we do is we dedicate some time just to the academy. In terms of what we tend to do, any sort of contract news, any sort of big news in terms of the academy, sort of 18s and 21s, firstly. Then we go through the loans, the current academy players who are out on loan, how they've got on. And then we do his sort of match reports for the 18s and 21s. Obviously, no games over the weekend for the 18s and 21s. They sort of kick off properly. They have a sort of mid-season break type thing with so many first-team games. A lot of the, obviously, academies utilise their players in the matchday squad. So I think part and parcel of why they don't have matches over Christmas is because of that fact. But they'll be back, and we've got a lot of Friday games coming up. So, and if you can get down to the academy, whether it's on a Saturday morning at Rush Green, at Little Heath rather, or at Rush Green on a Friday night. We've got a couple of Friday nights coming up this week, this month, where we're playing in the PL2. Get along to watch them. Honestly, it's great fun. Good football, and you'll see some of the stars of the future. You see the likes of Ollie Scars, the likes of Lewis Orford. You'll see Caelan Casey. You'll see Ezra Mayers, Junior Robinson, Josh Ajala. You'll see Sean Moore. There's some really good players there. Finn Herrick in goal, and that's what we try and do to up your knowledge. We had a thing on our WhatsApp group. Someone was talking about Kean Forson, and I was like, no, if you watch the Academy show, you know, he went to this, and now he's at Southend. Anyway, let's crack into it. Let's talk contract news to start with. I think, yeah, why not? And we have a new pro. We have a new pro at West Ham, with the club announcing today the signing of Gabriel Callista's first professional contract at the club. He signed his career milestone. The 18-year-old Mauritian international put pen to paper at West Ham's Channel Eve training ground. He's had a great season, making his senior debut for his country, Mauritius, full international. Against India in September, and regularly starting for the under-18s in the Premier League South and FA Youth Cup. He's a full-time professional now. He's a box-to-box midfielder, but he can play in lots of positions. He's very, very useful squad player. He began his footballing journey with Sunday League side Euro Dagenham before joining Dagenham Redbridge's academy, following their relegation to the National League in 2016 and the subsequent closure of the academy. Kalista basically experienced 7 spells around various academies, including West Ham, before eventually signing for us at under 14 level, and now is his second year as a full-time footballer and his first pro contract. And as he said, he got called up to the Mauritian full national side earlier this season. So congratulations to Gabriel, very classy midfielder as well, and he looks very classy there, doesn't he? He looks very, very sultry. But congratulations on your first deal. So let's go and talk about all of our lovely academy players who are out on loan. Obviously, we concentrated a few. Wasn't much on the first team loan spells. Freddie got some minutes, and we spoke about that in Hammer's headlines. But in terms of the loans, mixed bag for our loan academy players. George Earthy was an unused substitute as Bristol City beat Derby 1-0 at home. Callum Marshall played the full 90 minutes as Huddersfield drew 0-0 at home with Rotherham. PK started and played the first half as they lost. Doncaster Rovers, it's Grant McCann, Doncaster Rovers, lost 2-1 at home to Port Vale. Gideon Kidoan was an unused substitute in the matchday squad as Wickham drew 1-0 at home to Blackpool. Christian Heggie, he was an unused sub in the home win for Motherwell, 2-0 at home in the first phase of the Scottish Premier League. And Mason Terry played the full 90 minutes for AFC Hornchurch as they lost 2-1 away to Truro in the National League South. And he's Truro over T, not a Truro over my voice. Sounds like the Churros. Always getting the 90 minutes, those old Mason. Mason. Now, interestingly, we have recalled a couple of players back from loan spells. Primarily Michael Forbes and Levi Lane. We also are aware of, obviously, what's his face? Cornet in the first team coming back. Well, he's due to come back. But Michael Forbes and Levi Lang. Levi was on loan at Cheltenham Town. He got injured, came back from injury, but has since been recalled back to West Ham. Michael Forbes as well. He was out on loan at Bristol Rovers, in and out of the squad. He's been recalled both to continue their development, but I think also potentially it could mean them finally moving on Luizão back to Brazil with Mineiro, a potential target club for him. He's been looking to go back for a while. His wife or girlfriend, his significant other, is heavily pregnant and will be giving birth to their child, if not already, very, very soon. So his desire is to go back to Brazil, which makes us quite light in the centre-back areas, particularly with Kalen sort of drifting in and out of the first team squad. We've brought through a few of the guys from the 18s, the likes of Ezra Mayers. He's been getting more game time edges. Colin Beckis, he played the National Cup just before Christmas. And so I think it makes sense to bring Michael and Levi Black back. They might go back out on loan again, potentially. They haven't really played Levi a little bit more than Michael, but in all honesty, not fantastic loan moves, really. Not getting loads of game time. Michael's a really good centre-half. I really like him. Big, burly, Northern Ireland, great, just Mark, he's there. Honestly, it's brilliant. It's so loud. I'm looking forward to seeing him back in playing for the under 21s and maybe going back out on loan if there's a side who needs centre half. But I think he got a flavour. Come back, work on that, develop that, because I genuinely believe there's a spot for him in that match day squad in the first team. Him and Caelan Casey. I prefer Michael ahead of Caelan in terms of what he brings to the table. He's a very strong centre half. He can play a bit on the floor as well. Very he's a good organiser as well. Good shouter. Think of him much like a younger Craig Dawson. That's how I think of Michael. He's a very, very good player. Levi, I think Levi has struggled with his knee since he got injured, and so I imagine it makes more sense for him to stay back in the fold when it comes to Chadwell Heath and recover from that properly. I think his contract runs out this summer. I think so. Might be that he's let go of in the summer. I don't know, but a couple of players have been returned back from loan spells. And that's it, really. Not much else to talk about at the moment. Obviously, the academy starts properly this weekend with plenty of games coming up. As I said, in January, where is it? Where's the fixtures? I've got the under 21s fixtures. What we got? They kick off tomorrow. They're away at Ebbsfleet United in the National League Cup, and then on Saturday, I think it's Saturday or Friday. I can't remember. Sunday, they play Liverpool under 21s away at their academy ground. Before, as I said, they come and play next week. Sunderland under 21s at Rush Green. And then they play Dagenham Redbridge, I think, in the National League Cup on Tuesday, 21st. So that'd be a good game as well. The 18s, I believe, are playing. Let me just bring up the 18s. The 18s are at home on Saturday, 11 o'clock at Little Heath against Crystal Palace before going to play Arsenal under 18s in a couple of weeks' time. So the games are really ramping up, and we'll bring to you all the latest coverage, reviews, how they got on, all that type of stuff in the Academy show. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Just so then you know what's going on, and you look really clever in front of people. When I don't know, Caelan Casey comes on or someone's on the bench, you know exactly who they are, what they've been up to, what positions they play, and everyone looks at you like the guru. You're welcome. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come on, you bloody irons.